Ladies and gentlemen, this creator is coming from the Call of Duty community to hopefully soon enough fight on Misfits. Please welcome Bad Boy Beaman. All right, how's it going today, sir?
Yeah, everything's going well. I mean,
Yeah.
we did have a little pre-discussion
Yeah,
before
I
this,
know
but I'll
that.
say for the
At least for the
cameras now that
audience.
I've
Hmm.
been struggling the last couple of days. I'm doing a daily vlog on my Bad Boy Boxing YouTube channel where I'm sticking to a very strict low-calorie diet whilst also intensifying my training. And the mental battle is honestly so hard because I'm used to eating takeaways on a daily basis. So now, I mean, I'm putting the effort in. I'm definitely working hard, and I'm definitely going to end up on Misfits.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And we were talking about like the diet stuff for sure. Yeah, like right before this. But yeah, just a little bit before for the audience. But I kind of want to get into, your journey with YouTube, right? You have 100,000 subscribers. A lot of, especially the youth really want to be a YouTuber, right? What is your journey in like, becoming a YouTuber? How did you go from, let's say from the beginning to now hitting 100,000?
It's a very, very strange story, to be honest. It's not something I ever aspired to be. It wasn't my
Hmm.
generation. Like, I'm a little
Yeah.
bit older than most, you know. It's not something that I thought, right, this is
Hmm.
the correct formula to be successful on YouTube. It was never about that. Obviously,
Yeah.
my story started as trying to become a streamer for a bit of a laugh. My brother told me one day, you should stream this Call of Duty Zombies on Twitch. And I'm like, okay, what's Twitch? He's like, you don't know what Twitch is? Download this app. I went through it all with him. My brother's
Yeah.
older than me, and he knew what all this was. I didn't have a clue. And
Hmm.
so I downloaded it. I'm like, okay, set an account up. How do I live stream it? He said, you can do it directly from your PlayStation. Okay, cool. So I signed it all in on PlayStation, went live. I had like six people watching me. I'm like, well, what am
That's
I meant
not
to
bad
do
to
with
start with.
this?
Like, was that your
Yeah,
first
yeah,
day?
yeah. Yeah,
That's
but
solid.
I told a couple of friends and whatnot, like,
Oh,
but
okay.
like the typing in the chat, and I'm like, I'm replying to them, and I just
There
had
you
the
go.
general gist of it, and like, that's where it started for me as a streamer. I went from
Yeah.
Twitch, then over to YouTube, started uploading like videos to YouTube of gameplay, nothing really spectacular, nothing special. Um, didn't think anything of it, with no aspirations to become a successful, like revenue earner on YouTube at all.
Yeah.
Um, but then one of my videos popped off, done like thousands and thousands of views, ended up
Oh,
earning
wow.
me a position in the YouTube partnership program, and I was like, shit, I'm actually a paid YouTuber now. Don't get me wrong, like I was earning like 30 pence a day, 30p, which is like about 50 cents in America. That's
Oh,
what I was
wow.
earning
Okay.
per day, but I was still like, shit, I'm just having fun playing games. I get to make a bit of money off it. Cool.
Oh, for sure.
Um, Couple of, let's say, 6 months went by. I've transferred over to Facebook gaming. I'm live streaming over there. I've made a couple of connections with other streamers. I'm being very successful over there. Over the course of about, I'd say, a 10-month period, I went from like 20 concurrent viewers all the way up to like over 200 concurrent viewers. That's like the trajectory over a 10-month period. Everything was going well. Turns out though, one of the guys I was playing with, I found
Hmm.
out he was using aimbot and wall hacks.
Oh, shit. Hmm.
And I wasn't willing to stand for it because I was entering into tournaments with this guy. Bear in mind,
Yeah.
all the tournaments we did enter into, by the way, he was on PlayStation at the time. So it was after that that he got PC and decided to become this god at the game.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I on my old personal Facebook account, I exposed him to the people we knew, and I was like, this guy cheating his ass off. For anyone who plays with him, don't. And everyone was calling me a rat. Everyone was like, why are you being a rat? He's your mate. Why are you exposing him? Like, why are you
Hmm.
like just tell him, speak to him directly? And like I tried that, it didn't work. I realized
Yeah.
that people were just trying to defend this guy. So I thought, how many other people out there are truly cheating at this game and getting away with it? And that's
Oh,
what
no.
started me on
That's
the
great. You know what's crazy is like, there like okay, I'm not like I'm not too invested in the Call of Duty as much as I used to be, but I remember like at least once a month, or not even once a month, but like quite a bit though. People would get exposed, and it'd be the biggest thing on the internet at times.
Well,
Like
that's it. Like
recent,
so,
yeah,
back then, mate, at the start, when somebody was getting exposed, people were listening. People were like
yeah,
truly listening. Right now, it's not like that. All these
yeah.
top streamers have manipulated their audience to the point that hundreds of millions of people around the world, maybe not hundreds of millions, but millions of people around the world will take their word for gold and believe that these guys can somehow get 80 kills in a game, and
It's
it's legit.
crazy.
80 kills, and
Crazy.
we're talking a randomized battle royale. Like it's impossible to get 80 kills legitimately. It's literally impossible. You go and give Scump or Dashi or any of these CDL pros a year to learn Warzone Battle Royale non-stop, 12 hours a day, and they will not be able to drop anything over 50 kills. 100% guaranteed. Anyway, like that's how it happened for me. Anyway, I went from doing what I was doing as streamer, found out my mate was cheating, and then decided to go into expose videos. And to do that, I had to learn about the cheats myself. So I thought, what better way than to use them firsthand, learn about them. And I used them in like, there was like a private section, like
Oh,
um,
like private matchup or whatever.
yeah, but it wasn't like a private match. It was called, it was on Verdansk, about Warzone 1. And it was like, you could go in against like AI bots. So I would use it in
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you could go in against AI bots and it was like a mini sort of royale. And that's where I would do a lot of me testing. I did use some testing in with public matches as well. And that's how I learned about it. Once I'd done 3, 4 months of learning, I was ready. Started uploading the videos. Um, and people loved to see other people's downfalls. Like, and that's just the truth behind it. These guys are cheating, they're
Yeah.
gaining hundreds of thousands of dollars every single year
Hmm.
whilst manipulating their own audience who are sending them those donations. So
Crazy.
yeah, I mean, it started when my channel at the time when I started these videos was like 1,500 subscribers, and it just blew up. I'm on 114,000. I hit 114K today.
That's awesome. Have you gotten your play button yet?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I've
hell
got a
yeah.
green screen up. Give us a sec.
Oh, okay.
I don't know whether give me a sec. Wait there.
Oh, hell yeah,
Ta-da!
dude. Let's go. That's awesome. What's crazy is that when Fox hit around like 100K and I interviewed him around that time, or it was a lot. It was actually a little bit after, like months after I interviewed him. He had a thing where what is it called? He had a customized like play button for himself to keep him motivated, and it was like off of a what is it called? I forgot, cardboard. He like a cardboard box, and he like scraped it as a play button, and that was like his like motivation thing. So I don't know. I
That's
really
awesome.
respect people like when they receive their play button. It's like especially for people who are trying to like make it on YouTube. It's a very big motivation to them, especially to
Oh,
me.
hey,
So it's
like I said, it
much
was never
respect,
my
seriously.
intention, but
Yeah.
receiving this in the post was like one of the greatest achievements ever. Like, because putting in hard work every day. Some of
Yeah.
my days were like 15 to 18 hours searching the game and finding footage and like analyzing clips and comparing,
Hmm.
and before I could put out like an 8 minute video. Like that's what I had to do for like a 7 or 8 minute video. So I was
Yeah.
putting in a lot of hard work. They actually ended up sending me 2 of these out, by the way, accidentally, I believe. So
There you go. Hey, you got two. You got.
I got two. I got two. Now, I've got a second channel anyway, and that's on the way there. Now it's on 23,000 subscribers. That'll by the end of this year, that's the aim for my second channel. The aim for
Okay.
this channel, for the BadBoy Beaman channel, is
Yeah.
to just try and get that gold plaque, man. 1 million
Oh yeah.
subscribers would be
Hmm.
absolutely amazing.
No, for sure, dude. That's what's up. What is it in that second channel? Is that like a what do you do on that second channel?
Gaming news.
Oh, just gaming news. Okay, got it, got it.
It's sort of gaming news with a twist.
Hmm.
I'll be honest with you. I set that channel up. I don't know whether you ever heard of Esports Talk with Jake Lucky, right?
Esport.
So
I've heard of Jake Lucky, but
yeah,
esports
yeah,
tour.
yeah.
Like,
Esports talk, like
oh,
talk,
talk,
like
talk. Okay, yeah,
yeah.
I know. I'm a little bit familiar with esports. I'm not like really too like invested into it at all.
Well,
No.
whilst
Yeah.
I've been doing my videos,
Hmm.
these large streamers, I won't name names, but
Yeah.
large streamers were being protected and sort of gate kept by the likes of Modern Warzone on Twitter and Jake Lucky at Esports Talk. So I thought they're very biased, and they've never once reached out to me and asked me for my side of the story. There's been like Dex
Hmm.
Airto but Charlie Intel have all wrote articles with my name in, blasting my name, like literally libel
Crazy.
or slander or whatever you want to call it, like without any information from my side, without asking me for my side of events or proof that I've got.
Yeah.
So I made it my mission. I was like, okay, I'm going to set up a news channel and just do the opposite of what they're doing. I'm going to be biased on the other side of it. So it was always, bringing you gaming news with a touch of humor, or bringing you humor with a touch of gaming news. I think the slogan once was, but now it's just sort of a little bit of fun. I upload shorter videos of cheaters. I upload shorter videos of Call of Duty streamers, any updates in the game and stuff like that. It is mainly Call of Duty related because, my audience that have swapped from my main channel over there, it sort of fits the algorithm a little better. So
Yeah,
yeah, it
that's
will hit
that's
100K
fair.
this year, though. I can guarantee it.
I'm sorry.
I said that channel will hit 100,000
Oh
this year.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, for sure. I mean, honestly, I think the biggest thing what I've seen with with creators who are big, it's just consistency and like a consistency then quality type of thing. So like, um, yeah, no, I mean, like you said, like as long as they're hitting the algorithm and stuff for sure. I mean, I feel like committing to that, you'd for sure get that goal. Um, what's the biggest thing you learned like on, and it's kind of getting to this, what's the biggest thing you learned on YouTube that has like helped you grow for the people who want to grow? Like what's the biggest thing that you said that you learned?
At this point in time,
Yeah,
retention is key.
retention. Okay.
Retention. If you
Hmm.
have a boring introduction to your video, people are going to click off it. The best thing you can aim for is to have a very high retaining 15 to 20-minute video. That's what I've found, and I feel like that will
Hmm.
generate a hell of a lot more views than you're used to. Your click-through rate might seem a bit lower, but believe me, that's because it's being pushed out further due to the high retention.
Okay, fair enough. And then one last thing just on like the YouTube area. For let's say like, for smaller creators, who want to like, who want to learn, right? Who want to grow, and especially in today's thing with shorts and everything like that, what would your like advice be on that? You know what I mean? For like the just smaller creators.
Um, there's two different ways to go about it. Like, I
Hmm.
can't really give much advice when it comes to shorts,
Okay. Hmm.
because I've only got one shorts channel, and so hey, some of them videos have popped off like millions of views and stuff, but I don't
Yeah.
understand. I don't genuinely understand it. I can put 10 hours into one 30-second short video and it'll do 10 views. And then I can just quickly throw one together, upload it, 100 million views.
It
Like
is, it
it's
is interesting. Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
so it's. But listen, again, with shorts are essentially to bring in subscribers. Yeah. So what I
Yeah.
would suggest now, especially with the way things are, like when I started, everything was long form, and
Hmm.
I prefer long form footage content anyway. And I do
For sure.
believe that you can definitely use the short form content to increase the views, increase the revenue, increase retention, click through rate of your long form videos. So create a long form video, get the clickiest part of that video, the most entertaining, turn it into a short, and you can actually link the video it's tied to
Oh yeah, from the shorts to the
as you
video.
upload
Yep.
it. Yeah, yeah. I can't
Hmm.
remember the exact name of the situation now,
Of
but
like
like
the I know what you're
yeah.
talking about though.
So when you're
Yeah, yeah,
watching a
yeah.
short, it'll just be linked at the bottom, and that will literally drive traffic. I've been doing it with a couple at the minute on my main channel, on the BadBoy Beaman channel, and I feel like might actually be why my subscribers are going up, because they're increasing at a much higher rate over the last 2 months than they have done for the last 12 months before that. So, fingers crossed, this is the start of something new, but definitely
Hmm.
utilize the shorts to, you know, increase revenue, increase views on your long form videos.
Okay, that makes sense. I've actually have been a little bit using that mode, and like it does help. It does help a little bit for sure. Um, Now I want to get into, you're starting to get involved into like the influencer boxing scene. What kind of got you, interested in getting into the scene?
It's a bit of a mad one.
Okay.
I used to box years ago, like not much,
Mm.
but I'd done a little bit of unlicensed boxing about
Yeah.
12 years ago. About 20 fights, nothing special. Won a
Hmm.
couple, lost a couple, had a couple of draws. I never
Oh, okay.
looked at it as anything serious back then. Pardon me. I
No,
used to
you
like
good.
going out drinking. I used to like going out partying. That was my lifestyle. So I never took the sport serious. But then over the last couple of years, like after lockdown, right? I
Yeah.
was 21 and a half stone. I was so fat, it was unreal. I've never been that
21 and a
fat.
half stone. Like,
Sorry. So
yeah.
that's like over 300 pounds.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah,
Hmm.
like over 300 pounds. I was fat. I'm 6'4", but I was fat.
Hmm.
So it was very heavy for me. And I was like, right, I'm gonna go back to the boxing gym and just start training, start doing that. And then I saw a couple of these things about YouTube boxing, and I'm like, I'm a YouTuber. I like boxing. Why not give it a go?
Yeah.
I realized like I tried reaching out to Keemstar about it, didn't get a response from him. Obviously didn't realize what was required. It was like 1 million subscribers and all this, and then it's just like the last year's been crazy mental for me, like because I was talking with a friend of mine about setting up our own influencer boxing shows. Then next thing, I get a message from a small, literally they were called Small Creator Boxing (SCB). They
Yeah.
messaged me saying, we'd love to have you involved, even if it's as a special guest. I was 100,000 subscriber on YouTube. They'd love to have had me. I was like, okay, yeah. What's the money like? Fair enough. You don't get in the ring and get punched in the face for free.
Hmm.
So they told me to be able to sort it all out. I just wanted to make sure my coaches were paid. I wanted to make sure that the travel accommodation and just basically make
Yeah.
sure I wasn't losing money fighting on
Hmm.
their show. They covered all costs. That's what they said in an agreement. And then I trained and I got that fight with JST, knocked him out in the third round.
Oh
Everyone was
wow.
talking about it in the small creator scene. A lot of people saying, it's like a grown man beating up a kid, like, or
Hmm.
but he's 19 years old, and in America, age is a little bit different when it comes to that.
Yes.
But in England, when you hit 18, you're a man, and like you can drink, you can smoke, you can do whatever the hell you want at 18.
Yeah.
So in England, that is a man. Like he's a year after being a man, you know what I mean? So like he accepted the fight, we took the fight, and I thought I'd done well. I was a little bit rusty. I didn't box anywhere near as good as I thought I was going to be
Hmm.
honest. But yeah, I
Fair.
mean, like people
Hmm.
started talking about the knockouts, and it went from there. And I started like getting involved in the Twitter spaces, made a couple of friends in the scene, and realized they were actually involved in like misfits. And I'm like, oh shit, I want to fight on that. So now I've
Yeah.
been like playing the
Hmm.
game for a little bit, working my way towards getting a fight on misfits.
Yeah, actually, since you've been getting into like the Twitter Spaces and stuff, this is a good transition, right? Out that outcome, from going to Twitter Spaces, you made a podcast, an influencer boxing podcast with the fan, right?
Yeah.
How did that like kind of go come all about? You know what I mean?
So me and the fan, we've been friends for a while now. Like it's just something like we talk in DMs, we talk on WhatsApp, just chit chat mainly. And he'd tell me his good news, he'd tell me his bad news, and I'd tell him vice versa. Like if I'm having a bad day, I'd just drop him a message. If I'm having a good day, I'd drop him a message. And then one day I was like, Joe, I've got an idea, and it's a perfect, like sort of two of us together. He's got the knowledge of the influencer side of things, a lot of it, a lot of knowledge, obsessive knowledge sort of thing. And
Yeah,
I've got like really good boxing knowledge. So I thought two of us together. I've got the experience with YouTube. I know what I'm doing and how to grow a channel that way. So I'll edit the videos, I'll put them together. All he needs to do is use his contacts, get the guests on, job done. And
perfect. Yeah.
that's the perfect mix. And it's working so far. But I mean, we need to get a little bit more consistent with it. But at the moment, I mean, it's I still think it's doing well. The numbers aren't, the greatest that I've seen, but for a
Hmm.
new channel, I think we've hit over 1,000 subscribers. Some of the
Oh
videos are
wow.
doing like 400 or 500 views each.
Hmm.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what the future holds for the Chatterbox podcast. Don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah, that fair enough. No, that's fair. Oh, which guest that that has been on the show has been your personal favorite so far?
um, I mean, Elle Brook was really, nice to talk to. I felt that everything we
Hmm.
spoke to her about, was related to her training. It was related to, her upcoming fight. And I was instantly rooting for her to win that fight. She'd already beat this girl once, AJ Bunker. I just
Yeah.
felt like, and she was just oozing confidence while we were talking with her. And the things she was saying, there was nothing really truly disrespectful from her. It was all just like you could tell everything was placed perfectly through her training camp to her diet. And she was like,
Hmm.
and on fight night, everyone's going to see the difference. I was like, do you know what? And then after her saying them things and seeing what she did to AJ Bunker in the fight, I was like, she didn't lie. She
Dude,
didn't
it's not. No, it's
lie.
nuts. What is it? What is it? Iris, and before I like explain this to like I respect like all of like Coach Stoll's team, because he trains AJ Bunker, Fox, and Saul Poppy and all of them. But in my prediction video, I did have Elbrook winning just based off the like just the weight, and you know what I mean. It's like the like because she seems like the bigger person in the fight, and she's I don't know, like her last fight was a loss, and I think she wanted to prove something. And well, I mean, hey, she did it. I mean, she got the belt. So yeah, no, the what is it called? The future for her in this scene is very bright for sure, especially after that
Definitely.
knockout. Oh my goodness, yeah. You were there in person in Leeds too, right? Oh,
Yeah.
you definitely saw. Oh my, you definitely saw a lot of knockouts that night then. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
I listened to it was for me, that's the first Misfits event I've actually been to. I've been to like a Happy
Oh
Punch
wow.
Influencer Boxing Awards before. So this was
Yeah.
my first in real life event. But one thing I will say, I made sure when I come home, I watched the whole event back on the zone.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the best. Not even non-pay-per-view. That was one of the best, if not the best, Misfits boxing show I've ever seen. The matchmaking on that card was fantastic. The fighters were on a good level. Even people like Most Wanted coming in like with I don't know 4 weeks to sort of get ready for a fight, and he still looked kind of calm and collected. Too calm at times, and I think that's why he got caught. He crossed his feet a little bit, but still at times he showed signs of skill in his fight
Yeah.
against a guy who was 8-0. Who is clearly fit as a fiddle and non-stop training every single day. So I think other than Tristan Hamburst, not Logan Paul. Every single one of them fights was an absolute banger and
Oh yeah.
deserved to be like a pay-per-view event.
Crazy. No, that card was nuts. And I mean, especially from what it was supposed to be before with like HS Tiki Taki main event, we were gonna get like a what is it called? What's that term? Where like fuck, I don't know what the term is, but essentially we were gonna get like a lot of great fights like just for a DAZN subscription. And
Yeah.
it's like and kind of think about like how the card went. It's nuts. I mean, um personally one of my favorites coming out of it, even though Most Wanted didn't win, I was still very happy for him just because like, through the Twitter scene, if anyone's been here since the last year, a lot of people have joined the Most Wanted spaces and like yeah, that was a lot of the community wanted him for to win for
It
sure.
just it
But
just sent a much bigger message than just allowing him on the card. It was,
yeah,
listen, everyone out there, if you try hard enough and put the effort in, this could be you. And that
oh,
shows a
for
lot
sure.
of hope and gives everyone a lot of hope to be talking about it, promoting it. And that message was brilliant. And Most Wanted was the guy they used for that message. And I think the guy deserved the opportunity because, like you said, anyone who's been involved in the Twitter scene and stuff, they know who Most Wanted is. They might not like him, but they
Yeah,
know
yeah.
him.
No, for sure. I mean, yeah. Still, again, though, it's like a lot of respect for him to getting in the ring at the end of the day. Another matchup that happened in Misfits 12, especially one of the more recent heavyweight matchups, right? Chase Demore and Minicon. That fight happened. What did you make out of that fight, personally?
I knew before the fight that Chase was going to win. He
Oh, okay.
didn't do it in the fashion that I would have liked. I think it was a little bit sloppy, but I went down on the Thursday before to
Yeah.
train with Chase. I'd done some sparring with him. We'd done 6 3-minute rounds, and hey, listen, I can box, I can move, but that guy can fucking punch. He hits so hard even when he's on the back foot. And I was like, okay, I come up with marks on my eyes, my nose, and my head off one punch. I remember the punch landed and I bit my tongue all off the one punch. Um, the thing is, when we were sparring, he was so much better in our spar and calmer than he was on fight night. I think maybe he's still getting a little bit of ring nerves. Um, and then you got to remember he's trying to put everything into every punch on fight night to try and get Minicon out of there. But
Crazy.
overall, I think the reason they kept this, I just want to say this out loud so people know my thoughts on it. People are calling Chase sloppy. They're saying he kept pushing Minicon. They're saying he kept taking him to the ground and he turned it into a WWE fight. Let me just tell you something. Go back to every single one of those moments in the fight and pause it. Minicon is holding onto Chase and bringing his own feet together. So
Mm,
any sort of pressure on Minicon at that point is going to send them both down because
yeah.
Minicon's got hold of him and his feet are together, so he's going to fall back anyway. So all of those instances that happened after going back and watching it back, like I said, majority of them were Minicon's fault, and unfortunately, we couldn't handle the pressure the Chase was applying in the fight. which made them both look sloppy, unfortunately. But my God, that guy can punch. The uppercut. He lands
Crazy.
an uppercut on Minicon. And even from like someone recording in the crowd, you just hear it's like a whip sound. Oh my God. But yeah, that was a wild fight, and Chase
Nuts.
deserved the win 100%.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And I mean, especially since, you're probably giving a close eye to that fight because you're around that weight division. And so, yeah, I just want to hear what you think about that. Another fight that happened too in the heavyweight was, the DTG Miles Raksu. I believe that was a heavyweight fight as well. Is how did you rate, DTG's performance, right? I think he's now 2-1 in the scene.
I find this so crazy. I spoke with him in the hotel on the day
Yeah.
in the morning, and we had a little chat. I walked up to him, put my arm around him. I said, "My God, man, what? How tall are you?" And he told me he's like 5'8", I think he said. I was like,
That's
"And you're
nuts.
heavyweight? You're heavyweight?" He was like, "Yeah, man." I was like, "Rather you than me." Listen, he could go down and he could just shred a little bit of weight and go down to bantamweight, bridgerweight, sorry,
Yeah.
or even cruiser, maybe even light heavy. Like there's three weight categories he could at his height get into. Um,
Hmm.
but does he need to? Because he's playing the low game. He's rolling under shots.
Yeah,
Miles was on his debut, and I like Miles. We spoke as well, and I think Miles looks like he can box clean. The shock of getting hit, I think, just sent his adrenaline through the roof, and then he had that adrenaline sump afterwards, and that's what's
for
caused
sure.
like, needing the
Hmm.
gas mask and stuff. But taking nothing away from DTG in that fight, he was feinting the shot and then throwing the overhand and landing it majority of times. And it was a lovely shot and it played out perfectly and put Miles down. And I think that the guy deserves his flowers. He definitely earned that win. And I want to see them both come back and do better things. I wouldn't want to fight either of them at this point. Maybe in the future for DTG. Who knows what the
Hmm.
future holds for Miles Raksu at the moment? But like Miles is a big guy. He's like I think he's my height or maybe an inch taller, and
Yeah.
he's quite in good shape compared to me at the moment.
Hmm.
So who knows what the future holds? But I've got a sort of in my head a path of destruction I want to cause, and it doesn't involve either DTG or Miles Raksu at the moment.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah, and a little bit on Miles Raksu. It's like I think, I mean, even though his first fight didn't go as how he expected, I think he still has a lot of what you call. He still has a lot of potential just because of like the how he's built and everything like that. Because that dude is tall and that dude is kind of like that dude is kind of not the best physique, but he is pretty fit though. He is very fit
Yeah,
for
I want to spend a little bit of time with him before his
yeah.
next fight. I want to get some rounds in, help him train a little bit. He's got my phone number now. He's going to message me and let me know when he can either come up to my gym or I'll travel down and we're just going to get like a good solid bit of training. And I want to be able to help some of these guys up and, just not even about like ability in the sense of, being able to throw punches in certain ways, just more about how to stay and remain calm in a fighting atmosphere. Like it's sparring in the gym in front of like five or six people is so different to
Oh yeah.
boxing live on the zone while it's like a sold out arena, and
Oh,
I think it was pretty much sold out in that arena. It was banging
I
from
was
start to
surprised.
finish.
I was surprised at the amount of people that showed up. You know what I mean? Like I didn't expect it. I usually, I mean the UK is a lot better with it, but like, in the US, at least when it comes to attendance and Misfits, and this is nothing as Misfits because they're still a very new company, but like it's not packed. It's barely any packed at all. At least when I've viewed on TV, you know what I mean? And so when I was surprised that like, on a free event, Misfits 12, all these people showed up, I was like, wow. Like it really like amazed me on like a lot of people like showing up and filling up the
I'll
arena
just
for
say as
sure.
well, a lot of people who bought tickets, were from Most Wanted, using his link and stuff,
Oh
Um,
wow.
I'm sure it was
Mhm.
Mams Taylor said, don't quote me on this. I'm sure I saw it in an interview. Mams Taylor pretty much said that, or Most Wanted said in a space that he's done more numbers, put more bums in seats than a lot of these larger creators who were on that show.
Yeah, no,
So it
he
just
did say
shows.
something along the lines about like Mams and I think I forgot the other person, but they went up to Most and was like, "You did a lot better than a lot of the creators in terms of sales, and you have a lot
Yeah.
smaller of a platform, which is absolutely nuts to think about." crazy. I mean, just like I said, like good on
But
him
that
at
just
the end of
shows
the
the
day,
level of support someone in the
for sure.
smaller scene can get, because that's proven now.
Yeah.
That's proven it's happened once. It can happen again. And anyone in this small creator area, it could be that next person. So just keep trying, keep pumping out the
Oh, for
content,
sure.
keep showing that you're interested if you truly are, and you could be picked next. It's that simple.
For sure. No, 100%. It's like I said, hard work and like consist like mainly is a consistency thing because like I said, most and we talked about this a little bit before. It's like he was like pretty consistent for the Twitter last year and like yeah, look where he's at now. It's absolutely nuts. So yeah, no, it's crazy. I wanna ask a few things before I do these couple segments. Actually, I do one of the segments pretty routinely, but this another like little thing we'll try out. Um, I want to ask you a few things though before that. So heading into 2024, right? How do you like the influencer boxing scene currently?
I think now I've experienced it firsthand in the sense of attending like Misfit show, like
Yeah.
the atmosphere, the way everyone treats each other, fantastic. I think the fighters that are coming up in the ranks at the moment
Mm-hmm.
are potential, some of them potential future superstars in the Misfit scene. I think we've got some guys who are already there. They just don't know it yet.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen conversations towards the end of 2023, people saying they think it's dying off or it's going to die off as soon as KSI leaves. I beg to differ. I think this is the start of something beautiful and it's got at least a 10-year lifespan.
10 year. Okay. I might yeah, no, I've had a mixed opinion on the influencer boxing scene. I think at times like there are like some indicators there where I'm like, "Oh, okay, you know what? Um maybe this can last a lot longer than I would think." But then yeah, the other thing is like we influencer boxing, right? Has to have that one guy that like, sells out those big arenas, for a big card because Misfits and DAZN, right? They have to have a pay they have to have a pay-per-view for sure. So it's like who's going to be that person to step up and like, sell out like let's say like a 12K arena or like, some like
But it doesn't
O2 or whatever.
necessarily need to be a one
Yeah.
person job.
Or not
Look at
one
the Prime
person, but
card,
who's
for
going to be.
example. Like that
Yeah.
Prime card, do you think that was just because KSI was fighting? No.
No, I mean
You had
KSI and Logan
KSI,
for
you had
sure.
Logan Paul, you had Dylan Dennis, right? You had
Yeah.
Tommy Fury. These are all guys with clout, online clout,
Oh, for
and
sure.
a big
Hmm.
fan base, including Tommy Fury, by the way. And then
Yeah.
on the undercards, you literally had like all of the sub biggest creators fighting each other, and like
Yeah.
it was explosive. The whole card was designed to sell out that pay-per-view, and
Oh yeah, no, I was expecting it to do numbers at the end of the day. As
yeah,
long
of
I mean
course,
I know the prime card like it didn't go as it expected, but like it's still like in terms of like numbers and everything, it did great. In terms of numbers,
exactly,
it
yeah.
really did do good.
And the thing
Just
that
a,
people, as long as you have people looking at the smaller cards, the non-pay-per-view cards, and thinking, hang on, those fights are explosive, right?
yeah,
These fights are entertaining. Then you're not necessarily needing these big events with all of the bigger names on.
yeah,
Once these guys have made a name for themselves, they'll soon be respected in this space as one of the big names. And I think, the likes of Slim and Salt Pappy and Anthony Pretty Boy Taylor, these guys are almost there. I think they've got a
hmm,
couple more fights to go, but they're almost there.
for sure. My only thing with that, what is it? I tried asking Mams this and he couldn't say it for a very reasonable why he couldn't say it. But I tried asking him on like what's the number of like how many people were watching on the zone like the Misfits at the time was Misfits 11 and he couldn't say the number, but he said that the Misfits 11 number that the people were watching was more than Misfits 9, saying that there's more people getting involved. But I see my only question to that answer is depending on how many people do go out of their way to watch the free events, and that kind of gauges me. If it's let's say like 10,000 people, then okay, you know what? I think personally that it can grow from there. But if it's something if it's lower than that, then
I think you'll
That's
find
where I differ. You know what I mean?
everything. I think you'll find it's in the hundreds of thousands subscribing to the zone to watch the free events. I don't think it's in the tens of thousands at
You don't
all.
think sense? Yeah, I
Don't quote
mean,
me on that though.
yeah. I mean, I don't know the exact amount. I just said 10,000 as an example. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, not. I'm not saying that's the official number, but
I believe there's that much revenue being made from these shows for the owners and people in charge and the CEO, which is KSI, right? That,
yeah.
you know, you have to remember as well, every single non-pay-per-view event is pretty much an opportunity for everyone who bought a ticket to
Oh,
get a
for
chance to
sure.
meet KSI.
Yeah.
Because he goes to all the events. He was at the event when I was there. I got a personalized video and all that. I won't say who for, but I will. One of my daughters is a massive KSI fan, so she, I got a KSI to be like, "Yo, what's going on? Good to see you." And he went, "Good to see you." Well, not really see you, but here's a video of me. Woo!
That's awesome.
I,
That's
I,
awesome.
I would play the video, but I don't want my daughter's name being leaked. To be
Oh
honest,
yeah,
so
no, makes sense. Makes sense.
yeah,
Makes sense. Yeah, that's fair. That's awesome. You know what I mean? I'm like I said, I'm from the U.S. and the one thing that like I kind of like sometimes it's like annoying is like a lot of these events are in the UK, and so I'm like, damn, I really wish I could sometimes like go to these, but obviously it's so much more to get to that. I like I said to me, I'm really wanting I'm really wanting like an event in the U.S. because like the minute that they do, it's gonna be very exciting. I can't wait to go for my first Misfits show for sure. And I mean, kind of getting into that a little bit, right? You know, about, KSI. He did comment under one thing just yesterday. You got a tattoo of Misfits boxing logo onto there, right?
yeah.
Was that something you were planning for a long time? Or did you just out of like, out of blue, you're like, you know what? I want to get a Misfits
I mean, it's
logo
what the
tattooed on
tweet
me.
says. Like, it was just like, spare of the moment. I get a phone call off my coach. He's going, "Yo, I've got an idea." I was like, "What is it?"
Hmm.
He said, "I know how to get you a fight on Misfits." I said, "How?" He said, "Get a Misfits tattoo." I was like, "Don't be silly. Don't be silly." He's like, "No, no, trust me." He's going, "Trust me." Now, bear in mind, this guy, my coach, Lee, if you don't know him, Coach Lee, he's always in the
Coach
Twitter
Lee, I see
spaces.
him in spaces a few times.
Like, this guy's got ADHD. I've got ADHD as well,
Hey,
but
me as well.
he's like on a whole other level, yeah. So he's like, "It needs to be done right now. We need to go and do it right now." It's like it's not we, is it? It's me. It's my, it's my skin. Listen, I'm covered in tattoos. I don't mind. So I was like, you know what? It does make sense. Represent the brand. Plus, I thought if I get that on the back of my calf, on my back leg, any photo of me knocking someone out in Misfits, it's gonna,
Hmm.
like, from behind, it's gonna have their logo on it. Boom. So not only is it promoting the knockouts on this, look, I've got the logo on my leg. That's who I am. So I thought it shows a level of commitment. I know where I'm at. I know what I want to do. I'm committed to getting on Misfits. So I'll get a tattoo, no problem. I've got plans for, like, when I start beating certain opponents, I'm gonna get little things added to, like, a leg sleeve around it. Um, but yeah, now it was like it was all done in the case of like a 2 hour period. After Lee called me, I was like, "Oh, and I'll have to speak to my tattoo artist and see whether he's free." And then I was like, "Oh, I don't think he's gonna be free this morning. It's too late notice." And I shit you not, about half an hour later, tattoo artist rings me. He's like, "Yo, bad boy, what's going on? Do you want to come in for some ink today?" I was like, "I'm coming in." So I was like, "I've got to call Lee." So I got off the phone, called Lee back. I was like, "Get yourself ready. I've sent you the address. We're going." But yeah, we went down there and I said, "This is the logo one." Sent it to me, printed it off, put it on my leg, tattooed it. Lee's there recording, trying to be all fancy with his camera work, giving it all this, all this. And you know what? It worked out pretty good. So he's now not only my coach, but my cameraman because he's pretty sick.
Oh
Um,
wow, okay.
yeah,
That's awesome.
it was decent and it worked, man. Instant, like 10 minutes after posting my video on Twitter, KSI responded saying, "I fucking love it." I was like, "Is that his real
Yes.
account?" So I had to click on it, double check. I was like, "Shit, it is," and that's brilliant because it means he's seen it now. He knows who I am. He knows how committed I am. Mams Taylor's obviously seen it. I did tag these guys in it as well, so it's blown up a little bit. I think it's got like 40,000 views on Twitter at the moment, which to some people isn't much, but I've had to set up a new Twitter account recently, so 40,000 views on a video for that. Happy days.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I was actually I thought this was kind of like, oh, we were gonna like few weeks beforehand, like we're gonna plan this all out, get a Mrs. Tattoo and this and everything. But it was really an impulsive decision.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, listen, I'll tell you that a lot of my life is based on impulsive decisions like this. Like, so someone's like just a brilliant idea, I'll do it, and then I love
Hmm.
it, and like that's it. Then I'm sticking with that forever.
That's
Impulsive
awesome.
things are just like the best spontaneity, as we call it here in a polite way. Like being
Hmm.
spontaneous. Sometimes I don't even know being spontaneous until it's already happened. I'm like, shit. Okay, so I'm here now. How did I get here? I've done my mate. I've flown to Malta. I've been to Paris. I've been to Amsterdam. Just why not? Let's go here
Yeah,
today. Okay, yeah, and just got on a plane.
that's awesome. That's
It's
awesome, man.
it is
Yeah.
yeah, it's great.
Hmm. Yeah, I want to ask one question right before we do a couple segments with you, right?
Okay.
Mams talked about doing this new judging system. I don't know if you've heard about it yet, about having like a jury and all that stuff to judge the boxing fight. Are you a fan of that new judging system that he wants to implement? How do you feel about it?
Um, Listen, I think that I'm old school when it comes to the rules of boxing, but I
Yeah.
also understand the level of corruption that's occurred in this sport for
Oh,
very
yes.
many years, decades, if not centuries. I can go as far back as looking at the corruption around Don King when he was managing the likes of Mike Tyson and stuff, some shady business going on. Especially when it came to like judges' scorecards and stuff. We've seen it on Amir Khan fights more recently in the past like decade. And I just genuinely think that there's no harm in trying bringing in and incorporating new judging systems. If you can bring something in, bear in mind, think this through. If Miles Taylor brings in a new judging system into influencer boxing that works better than the judging system in professional boxing, and then they end up adopting it into professional boxing, boom, there goes influencer boxing levels and levels and levels above pro boxing because they brought the new judging system in. And I just think he's got nothing to lose bringing it in and
Oh, for
trying it.
sure.
If it
Yeah.
doesn't work, they'll try something else.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, and that's one thing I do really respect about Mams, right? It's like he is, willing to try new stuff. And if it doesn't work out, hey, you know what? It's not the end of the world. He's gonna find another solution for it. Because
Exactly.
especially not even just in boxing, but in general, like with everything, there is a lot of problems. But people cannot really find the solution. And I think this has been one problem in boxing about the corruption and everything. And he's gonna try out a solution. So I really respect that. The only thing with it, and I have to see when it gets tested out, but as of before it gets tested out, the only concern I have with it so far is it could take a long time to get the results out. You get what I mean? Because I feel like it's like a whole process of like, oh, we'll have the judges on ringside and the judges in the back, and
But it's
what is it
essentially
called?
like a VAR system, isn't it?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
So,
it.
so
Mm-hmm,
it's caused delays in football, VAR. The referee
mm-hmm,
has to go over to the screen and all this, check it. Then they have like other officials who are in like a back office who then back and forth talk with the official, like the referee who's on the pitch. And it can sometimes take like 4 or 5 minutes. And at that
yeah,
point, I think, well, then players have gone from like sprinting up and down the pitch to cooling down, and they've got to then get back into the game.
mm-hmm,
In a boxing fight, it'll be exactly the same thing. So what boxers to your corners, blah blah blah. Can you check this at this and this? Okay, okay. Waiting for the results. Waiting for the results. Waiting for the results. Okay, results are in. Okay, it's okay. We can carry on. And then the boxers have had like a 30 to 40-second break. Did they stop the time? Did they carry it on? Did they have overtime? I don't know how it works. So,
yeah,
like, I think that, like I said, incorporating new things is always great. It could just be a way to go, like, after the fight, if there's been a
mm-hmm,
very controversial decision by the judges ringside, they can go back to the officials in the office who've got like, stats and things that have built up and whatever. And that, right, okay, we're going to overturn that instantly now. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, for
Which could
sure.
cause a lot of problems, especially in an arena if they've got like hundreds of thousands of fans rooting for each fighter. Well,
Yeah.
that could cause uproar, but who knows, man? Hey, I think it's all exciting, and I think Misfits boxing's still only in its baby stage. It's only just
Oh,
starting
for
to get
sure.
up and crawl. And I think the people trying to write it off as, oh, it's over, influencer boxing's done. Nah, they haven't got a clue. You don't understand how many levels to be in, like, what's the word I'm looking for now? I want to say it, but it's on the tip of my tongue.
You don't understand the amount of
Innovative.
levels.
Innovative.
Okay.
Innovation, right? So the amount of
Mhm.
innovation that
Mhm.
Miles Taylor brings to anything that he touches, by the way. But
Yeah,
with it's boxing, like the amount of stuff he's brought to this, I feel like wow, we're only just seeing the tip of the iceberg here, and there's so much more to come. Whether it's new influences, whether it's new scoring systems or judging systems, or a new way of refereeing it, maybe they'll have robots in there refereeing it. Who knows?
that'd be crazy.
The
That would
hope
be
it will be
crazy.
crazy.
Oh, he did say I think something to do with AI though as judging. Like,
Yeah, I saw that because
yeah.
it looked like wall hacks. Like they
Hmm.
had like boxes around the fighters. I said, "Oh shit, that's wall hacks. I've seen that. I know what that
That's
is." Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, that's crazy though. I mean, listen, like I'm not saying like, for man, like just clarification. I'm not saying like, oh, don't go try this out. I'd say try it out still, but my like prediction of, what could go right, what could go wrong, it could take a lot of time. That's my only prediction of how it go bad. Other than that, hey, try it out. You know what I mean? Uh anything to try to test out the correct, like, to make sure, boxing fights don't get corrupted and everything like that. I'm all for it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. But yeah, I'm like I said, big huge respect to Mams, and I absolutely respect him, from what he's done to all the fans and everything like
he's
that.
just a great
Seriously,
guy
man.
in general, man. Like I haven't got
Yeah.
a negative thing to say about him. Anyone who has
Hmm.
deluded, mate.
Dude, for sure. I would love, like, the once when he comes to a US event, I would seriously, it would be so sick to meet Mams and, just having like an honest conversation with him. It would be so sick. Seriously. I
Yeah,
mean, he's always on Twitter, and I feel like, this is one thing with Mams when he's on Twitter, is that when he's on, everyone everyone that's trying to, let's say listening or trying to get on the speaker, is it just me? I feel like everyone's just happy when he's like on when he gets on a Twitter space. It's you
yeah.
know what I
No,
mean?
he's
Hmm.
just. It's because a lot of them Twitter spaces, by the way, are just full of trolls trolling each
Oh
other.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then next thing, Mams comes into the space and everyone just goes zips up and goes, "What's the news? What's the information? What's he got to say?" And he'll just come in and be like just chatting, and everyone just listening and really happy. And yeah, it's like celebrity status. That's where he's eyes up here, and everyone in them spaces pretty much fans of what he does and what he's created and the people he works with. So like, of course, they're going to respect him as he comes in.
That's fair.
Um, and I just think like he's never a dickhead. He's always a bit of a lad, has a bit of fun, bit of a joke, bit of a laugh.
Yeah,
But when it comes down to giving you the information, he knows what to say, when to say it, and how to say it, and also what not to say. And I think that's a great example of a decent human being right there.
yeah. No, he's very smart about what he can say, not say. Especially, I want to go into a couple segments. Before we end the show, this one
Okay.
segment I do. It's called the one word segment. I always do this with the guests that I have on for interviews, and
Before we
essentially,
go into this,
I'll just probably like fully like zoom this in. So, basically, what I do in the show is called a one word segment, in which I say a name, and you just describe these fighters in one word. I try to make sure they're around the weight class, so it makes it more interesting for the viewers. So the first person I have is Chase Moore,
strong,
strong. Okay, Gary Olive,
weak,
Minicon,
retire,
crazy. All right, next one is Tempo Arts,
ginger. I don't
Master
even know. I
Evil.
don't even know if he's ginger. I don't. But I think he's in my head. He's
That
ginger.
hey, that's the first word that came out, man. You know what? Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, Arms Corleone,
Steroids,
DTG,
short,
Miles Raxu,
hair.
hair. All right, and then last one. This he's not a fighter, but he is the CEO. Mams Taylor.
Yeah.
There you go. That's fair enough. Fair enough. All right, and then this next one. This will be the first time I'm testing this out. Right. I'm gonna say some names. And you're gonna blindly rank these fighters 1 through 5. So I'll throw out a name, and you have to rank them either like anywhere from 1 through 5. If that makes sense.
Right. Okay, I get
All
what you're
right.
saying, but like, so I've
Mhm.
got to rank like the first name you say, and
So
I've got to
first name
rank
I
it.
say, you have to try ranking them. Anywhere between 1 through 5. But you won't know what comes
Okay.
after.
Are they all the same weight category?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're all the same weight
Okay, okay,
category.
okay.
All right. So first person, Tempo Arts.
One, he's the champion.
One. All right. DTG.
Um, I'm gonna say two, what, three,
3. All right. The next one is Chase Demore.
two.
2. All right. And then next one is Minicon.
I'm gonna put in five if it's 1 to 5.
5. Oh, okay. This is a
Retire.
yeah. You then you ranked it like from a blind rank. This actually went really well because the next one I was gonna say is Arms.
Ugh. He also should retire, by the way, but we'll put
Yeah.
him in number 4. Just want to point out, right? Like that makes sense as well because
Yeah.
I mean, if Minicon couldn't beat Arms in the state he was in, like, just he should have retired then. Chase's sentiment of retirement, but I'm sure he's going to keep going.
Fair, fair enough. That for a blind for blindly ranking these fighters, that actually went that actually went really well. The
I
Tempo
was
Arts,
kind
Chase
of
Demore,
worried, like,
DTG, Arms, and Minicon for a
yeah,
blind ranking. That's actually not bad at all. But yeah. Now one last thing before I close out the show, man. Who wants to? What is it called? Who do you want your first opponent to be on Misfits? Who you're gonna call out?
I will fight anyone, but I want to make sure this Gary Olive feels the power that I possess, and I want to absolutely destroy him. He's Tempo Arts coach, the heavyweight champs coach. Gary Olive thinks he's got what it takes to beat me, and he doesn't stand a chance. So that's the man I want to fight when it comes to Misfits. Any show, anytime, as long as it's Misfits, me versus Gary Olive. Let's get it on.
All right, fair enough. Your call out to, having your hopefully potentially getting your debut on Misfits. I'm really excited, man. Um, and just another thing before I close out. Any announcements? Anything you want to say before we wrap up the show?
Um, Not off the top of my head, not that I can
It's
think of.
fair
Like,
enough then. It's no worries. You know what? Listen, at the end of the day, I think myself, including a lot of people on Twitter, are very excited for when you make your debut on Misfits. Hopefully, hopefully sooner enough that we see you in the ring. Very excited for that, especially from the fans' perspective. And if you, for the audience here that's still watching this, if you really enjoy this interview, please subscribe for more content. The end of the year goal is get to 1,000 subscribers. You know what I mean? So I'm
let's try and make that 10,000. Come on, hit that
10,000. Yeah,
sub
next
button
is
now, right
10,000.
now.
Next is 10,000. Next is 10,000. But yes, first, we have to take the baby steps, obviously, right? So we have to still get to 1,000. But anyways, yeah, just like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.